He just glanced curiously at the fireball in the sky, but the next second he was so scared he turned and ran. He saw that the blue fireball was actually flying towards him. Just as the man had nowhere to run, a violent explosion sounded, and the man instantly let out bursts of miserable screams. Then, a crystal-like object plunged into his chest, stunning the two pigs beside him. The terrifying scene in front of him scared the man so much he shook his head desperately, only able to watch as the blue crystal merged into his body. Even though he made the 666 gesture to his buddies, he eventually collapsed, unable to bear it. 2.5 years later, the man was finally sent to the hospital. After emergency treatment by the doctors, his life was finally saved. However, due to the extremely high temperature of the blue crystal, the doctors also declared that the man had lost face forever. But when the nurse removed his bandages, everyone present was stunned. Not only was he not dead, but he had also gained a magical superpower. The moment the compendium of materia medica in the nurse's hand touched Dashan, the man's name, he instantly mastered all the knowledge of medicine within it. Hearing the doctor still bragging endlessly, Dashan directly pointed out the other's mistake and even accurately stated the correct answer. Late at night, Dashan suddenly woke up from his sleep. He could actually see the scene in the next ward through the wall. When he turned his head, he clearly saw the doctor in the office. Now he was convinced that he had truly awakened superpowers. After dawn, Dashan was discharged from the hospital and returned home. He found that he could even understand his pet dog's barking. Just then, his good friend came to find him. Dashan began to show off his superpowers. Seeing his friend looking at him like he was an idiot, Dashan directly touched the magazine in his friend's hand and then recited the content of every page word for word. His friend was instantly shocked and dumbfounded. Who knew that this night, a few thugs would come looking for Dashan to collect protection money? They were the most notorious golden hair gang in the city. The gang leader, Sang Diao, even kept a lion as a pet. Dashan wanted to push these thugs away, but because he hadn't mastered his strength well, he directly threw them across the street. Seeing this, the number one fighter decided to do it himself. He threw a punch at Dashan, but ended up breaking his own hand bone. Seeing this, a subordinate drove a car straight at Dashan. Unexpectedly, Dashan pressed down with both hands and instantly stopped the car, even leaving two clear handprints on the hood. When the thugs saw they couldn't win, they turned and fled, shouting that they would definitely make Dashan pay. Sure enough, early the next morning, the golden hair gang found Dashan again, holding machine guns and unleashing a crazy barrage of bullets at him. Dashan fell to the ground, his fate unknown. But just as the killer fled, he got up as if nothing had happened. Those bullets couldn't even penetrate his skin. The killer saw this scene in the rearview mirror and immediately turned the car around to come back. Seeing this, Dashan ran desperately. But who knew that as he ran, he actually flew up and hung onto a streetlight. Now this was going to be a good show. This man was really something else. Just by accidentally falling from a utility pole, he caused a huge crack to appear down the entire street. However, he was still not satisfied. At night, he flew directly 18 centimeters above the ground. Just as the police and the bad guys were in a fierce firefight, he suddenly floated down slowly from the sky. Then, he even wanted both sides to shake hands and make peace. However, neither side paid any attention to Dashan and continued fighting inextricably. But the bullets hit Dashan as if he was fine, and he even started to doze off. It wasn't until both sides had used up all their bullets that they reluctantly gave Dashan some face. Then, they unwillingly put down their weapons. But who knew that the same night, the golden hair gang launched an attack on Dashan's community. Although Dashan caught all the bullets with his super speed, this time his hand was actually injured. It seemed that after such a long period of exertion, his superpowers were beginning to degenerate. However, the threat from the golden hair gang had not disappeared. This suddenly made Dashan feel unprecedented pressure. He just wanted to protect his community, but those bad guys were still unwilling. He was willing to let him go. Seeing this, the younger brother quickly reported the matter to Sang Biao. The next day, Sang Biao brought all the fighters from the golden hair gang and surrounded the community, making it impenetrable. In order to protect the residents, Dashan, who had lost his superpowers, decided to fight alone. As a result, he was quickly and thoroughly beaten. Just as Dashan was about to be killed by a gunshot, everyone's guns suddenly flew away. It turned out that the original meteor fragment had been picked up by this old man, and he had also gained superpowers because of it. Seeing this, the residents of the community also rushed out to help. Unexpectedly, in the chaos of the fight, the meteor fragment in the old man's hand accidentally rolled away. Dashan and Sang Biao pounced on it at the same time to grab it. The fragment instantly became red and scorching hot. With an explosion, both of them actually gained superpowers. However, Sang Biao's fighting skills were more formidable, and Dashan was soon beaten to the point where he couldn't fight back at all. He immediately picked up a book, wanting to learn some kung fu, but found that it was a textbook for models. Seeing this, Dashan hurriedly threw the book to Sang Biao. Unexpectedly, the next second, the two grown men actually started catwalking on the spot. Soon, Sang Biao came to his senses and, without a word, threw Dashan out of the community. However, before he could be happy for 2 seconds, Dashan suddenly swooped down and knocked Sang Biao to the ground. He then quickly used his super speed to tie up all the gang members. Finally, he directly absorbed all of Sang Biao's superpowers, becoming an simply invincible existence. That's all for today's story. We'll see you next time.